Hello everybody, Mr. Akins here. Welcome to What's on the Comic Rack. Every Friday, Allan, the comic collector geek, sends out a challenge to the community. He picks a theme, and you're supposed to go through your long boxes, find comic books whose cover meet those themes, and make a video about those covers. Now, I don't actually go through all my long boxes looking for covers that meet that theme. A lot of times I just go to an app on my phone that shows all the comics I own and kind of peruse through the covers and see which ones fit. A lot of times I'll look at Iron Man first since I have all of Volume 1 and see which ones meet that criteria. This time I could have actually probably fulfilled the theme by just using Iron Man covers. But what I decided to do was try to use different titles to meet this theme. I'm also kind of curious how many people are going to use Submariner or Aquaman covers for this theme. I only decided to use one Aquaman cover, or one Justice League cover, and one Namor cover to meet the criteria for this theme. I'm also kind of curious how Allan decides how he's going to find the covers that he's going to use. Now, yes, sometimes once he puts out the challenge, I immediately think of a comic book that comes to mind that meets that. But after about 7, I kind of go, okay, I'm going to have to find something. And that's when I go to my phone and start looking. So, Allan, if you're watching this video, put down in the comments how you actually decide which comic book covers you're going to use once you decide on a theme. And now that I'm going to show mine, of course, I'm going to show them Jambo style. Top 10 water covers in no particular order. Who Killed Trident? With the images of the Teen Titans reflected in the water, this is a great George Perez cover. The first of 2 covers by the late great George Perez. When I was a kid, I only knew one other person that read comics. I read Marvel, he read DC, and he introduced me to the amazing Wolfman Perez run on the Teen Titans. It became one of my favorite runs ever. This is actually his copy of the comic. Recently I've been taking his collection and rebagging and reboarding his comics. I'm actually looking forward to rereading this run once I'm done doing that. So, Who Killed Trident? Pick up New Teen Titans number 33 and find out. You may actually be able to find a large portion of the Wolfman Perez run in dollar bins, except for the keys, of course. With this water cover, we've got A Splash of Water by Jim Lee. Not an Aquaman book, but Aquaman is on the cover. Now, before Crisis on Infinite Earths, my knowledge of DC was very limited. Once Crisis was over, I thought this would be a great jumping on point for DC, and I picked up quite a few titles. Fast forward to 2012 and the New 52, I thought, let's give DC a try again. I picked up the first 6 issues of the Justice League, and I think this is where the new Aquaman was introduced. So, what's y'all's impression of the New 52? Put it in the comments below. Number 8 on the list, a great cover by Bill Sienkiewicz, my wife's favorite cover artist. This issue was done by Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema, whose run on The Incredible Hulk is actually one of my all-time favorites. I started regularly reading the Hulk with issue number 272, and this was the first time we got to see what it would be like if the Hulk had Bruce Banner's brain for an extended period of time. The Hulk had been pardoned by the president for his previous actions and is considered a hero at this point. However, by this issue, issue number 297, the Hulk has completely reverted back to his savage self. The cover depicts a scene in the book where he sees his reflection in the water, and part of him realizes that he is no longer a hero that the world has come to forgive and admire. What the Hulk doesn't realize is that he's actually being manipulated by an enemy of a friend who's using the Hulk as a weapon against him. Who's manipulating the Hulk? Who is the Hulk being sent to destroy? Pick up Hulk number 297 and find out. Number 7 on the list is a cover by John Byrne. Now, Doomsday number 1 is a post-apocalyptic comic and some of John Byrne's first work as a comic artist. Now, the story involves 3 astronauts who return to Earth after it has been devastated by nuclear war. This cover depicts the 4th protagonist in the series, Kuno, right here. A 3rd century goth revived from suspended animation by the nuclear war, because of comics. But who are these other creatures depicted in this cover? Are they friend or foe of the series heroes? Only one way to find out, and that's to pick up Doomsday +1, which is only a 6-issue run, or you can pick up some of the reprints that were created in the late 80s. Number 6 on the list, this really cool cover by Ed Hannigan. Not only is this a water cover, but the interaction with the trade dress is an added cool bonus. This cover depicts Spider-Man fighting the villain in a giant fishbowl in a toy store. So Mr. Akins, why say villain and not just say Dr. Octopus? Well, because Spider-Man is not fighting Doc Ock in this comic. So who is Spider-Man fighting? And why is there a giant fishbowl in a toy store? Pick up Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, number 72, and find out. Number 5 on the list is a great cover by Bob Layton. This comic in the 3-issue arc involving the Hulk, and that would be issue number 131, this issue number 132, and issue 133, has the distinction of being some of the first back issues I ever bought. I just had to read this Hulk Iron Man battle. However, this is not the back issue I picked up back then. Pray tell why, Mr. Akins. Well, the comic shop owner of my local LCS is looking for Mark Jeweler issues of comics. And issue number 131 and 132 happen to have Mark Jeweler inserts, so I traded the ones he had for this one. Like I said, this was a 3-issue arc when Bruce Banner comes to Tony Stark to find a cure for being the Hulk. Stark creates a device that's placed in Banner's heart to prevent Banner from becoming the Hulk. It malfunctions, causing the Hulk to be unable to change back into Banner. This cover depicts Iron Man's attempt to hold the Hulk underwater until he passes out. Will Iron Man succeed in defeating the Hulk? To find out how Iron Man actually does defeat the Hulk in this issue, pick up Iron Man issue number 132. So originally, number 4 on the list was going to be this Amazing Spider-Man cover right here. And I was going to talk about the cover. However, I kind of went on a rant, primarily because of this right here. So I decided to switch this comic out with this Iron Man comic. Iron Man number 158. Now, as a kid, I remember seeing this actually on the rack. I picked it up, started flipping through it, and once I realized that the Bob Layton art wasn't all the way through the issue, and the fact that there wasn't that much fighting in it, I didn't pick it up, put it back on the rack. Actually picked this later up when I completed my Volume 1 run of Iron Man. So who's the mysterious figure? And why is Iron Man in the water? Have to pick up Iron Man number 158 to find out. Number 3 on the list is this John Byrne cover. Now, I limited myself to only one Namor cover for this challenge, and this is only my second John Byrne cover, so I think I'm doing pretty good. Frequent viewers of my channel will probably notice this book behind me, and it's one of my favorite Namor covers. John Byrne did triple work on this issue. He was the writer, artist, and inker. So what's happening in this cover? We see the enormous hand of Sludge, I think that's how he wants this to be pronounced, coming out of the Atlantic Ocean. How was Sludge formed? Namor actually pays a hefty price to defeat this adversary, which have implications for many years in the comic and later on. To find out what, pick up Namor number 7, and for the full story, pick up Namor number 8. Number 2 on the list is my second George Perez cover. The Thing and Triton battle the Serpent Squad in issue number 56 of Marvel 2-in-1. It's entitled Serpents in the Sea. Cover art, again, by the master of the crowd shot himself, and probably my second favorite artist of all time, George Perez. It says it all right here. Possibly the greatest subsea saga ever told. Why is this battle even taking place in the water? Well, back in issue number 154 of the Avengers, the Vision dropped the Serpent Crown into the ocean, and the Serpent Society has been hired to retrieve it. Who has hired the Serpent Society to obtain the crown? Will they succeed? Pick up Marvel 2-in-1 number 65 to find out. And number one on my list is another John Byrne cover. I managed to only use 3 John Byrne covers for this challenge. I think not using John Byrne covers for this challenge would have been more difficult than not using Namor or Aquaman covers for me. When Allan first put out this challenge, this was actually the first cover I thought of. I love the perspective of looking up out of the water for this cover. So what's going on in this cover? A creature in Lake Ontario has pulled a baby into the water, and Heather Hudson here has dove in to save the child. You may be wondering why Eugene Judd, the Canadian superhero Puck right here, why didn't he jump in to save the child instead? Well, a little known piece of comic book trivia, Puck can't swim. So it was up to Heather to rescue the child. Another interesting fact about this book, Namor the Submariner plans to propose to Marina, who's also a member of alphaflight in this issue. Does she say yes? Does she say no? Does Namor back out? Or does something else happen to mess up the proposal? Get alphaflight number 14 and find out. And there you have it, 10 water covers. I don't know if it's my top 10 water covers, but it's 10 water covers. So make sure you check out Allan at the Comic Collector Geek and try to participate. If you would like to participate in this one, that's great. But he has a bunch of other themes because he does this every Friday. You can go to his channel, peruse some of the videos that he has, and then you can decide on a theme that would be fun for you to participate in. Right over here are some videos of other challenges that I've done. And until then, we'll see you around the comic rack.